Good has the FIA World Touring Car Cup been this year? Well, you judge for yourself. 7 manufacturers on the grid. All of them have had a race win at least once this year. And 8 teams have had race victories over the course of the season, which is amazing. It means that pretty much every manufacturer represented has had a victory with the team that runs
14 drivers.
14 drivers taking victories. Only one manufacturer has had wins from 2 teams, and they're the big 2. BRC and M Racing. The 2 teams that are fighting for the team's title, and they are just 8 points apart coming into this round. Although, of course, after qualifying...
Haven't Audi won as well? They won with Come To You?
They did,
have
indeed.
They won with Come To You? Yeah, they have, haven't they?
Well, I'm not sure if it was Come To You they won with. They won with the Leopard Lukoil team, of course, with JK and
They won with
Gordon.
JK and Flash, but I thought Verfish had a win. Maybe he hasn't.
No, he's had a second place. He's had 2 second places at the Nürburgring and at Wuhan.
Yeah, he's come close a few times, hasn't he? So you're probably right with that one.
That's pretty amazing considering
But I mean,
how well.
I know when you look at the domination of Citroen and Pachita Lopez,
it's incredibly refreshing, isn't it?
It is quite refreshing, isn't it? And you know, we said yesterday that as fans and viewers, we all want to see sports people in distress and under pressure, and that's exactly what you get with these regs. You know, you can't have someone disappear off into the distance. You've got to go in the pack, and you've got to be able to race with your sleeves rolled up.
Alex is down in the pits.
The atmosphere down here is absolutely incredible, but the pressure must be pretty high in there, Gabby. This is it. This is make or break. This is the race where you could win or lose the title.
No, the race, it will be the 3rd race. This is an important step, especially because I have the best grid position. Yesterday, unfortunately, I had a mistake. Happened also with a very experienced driver. I'm sorry for Hyundai, I'm sorry for the team. But now, I mean, we can recover today. Macau is Macau. Even if my starting position is not great, we can do something good, and the target is there. We must achieve it.
It's a good point from Gabriele. He's not going to lose the title in race 1, is he? He's going to lose it in race 3 because he's got that 39-point cushion. He won't even lose the lead of the driver's title in race 1.
I'm just thinking of omens, and I think, wasn't the year he won the World Championship, he put it in the wall in free practice? There,
You're right.
And actually ended up in hospital. So he's actually, you know, he's in a better place than he was back then. So you never say never. As you say, he's got the points in the bag, and that's the important factor. You know, he's got the comfort zone, but he's got to stay out of trouble, which is not easy at Macau, and he's just got to try and haul those points in.
It's going to be a fascinating race here at Macau. Rob Huff on pole position, Guerrieri alongside him. The title contenders not far away. preparing for the first of 3 epic races that will conclude the 2018 FIA World Touring Car Cup by Ascaro. And I have to say, one of the interesting factors heading to the first corner, with Rob Huff on pole position, Guerrieri is second and Muller is third. They crossed paths during qualifying not too many weeks after their last little contretemps, and that could be an interesting run to Lisboa, couldn't it, with those two who already have a little bit of bad blood in 2018.
Yeah, I don't think there's any love lost between Muller and Guerrieri at the moment, but both want a strong result. You know, Guerrieri they've just announced as the season best qualifier yesterday, so I think he's level pegging with who did I see he's level pegging with? I need to go back in my notes. With Norby, another person who's had absolutely rotten luck this year. Norby Michelitz in the BRC Hyundai, but and it's not like they've made it up because they've been lighter than their compatriots. You know, in WTC with the regs, the weight is on the mark of the car with the balance of performance. So all the Hyundais run the same weight, or the Audis run the same weight, all the Hondas, etc., etc. So it's just, you could say it's a solid, strong performance from those two. And you know, Guerrieri's been hanging it out, as has Air Lachey. You know, they've probably been the two top protagonists in the Honda camp. But just luck hasn't gone with them, really, in the second half of the season. Both Air Lachey has started off especially strong, leading the championship to about round 3 or 4. And then it's just sort of gone proper Pete Tong on him, poor lad, since then. But, you know, it's great. He's up on the grid. He's starting on the back of this one after an engine change after Suzuka, after qualifying pretty good. But he's right up there for tomorrow's 2 races, second and third race.
So for all those of you watching along, wherever it is you might be, do chat to us during the race. We're on Twitter, @Jake Sanson and @MattNeil Racing. Plenty of action to come, and we're going to see some really epic battles. A quick rundown through the grid. Rob Huff on pole position from Esteban Guerrieri. Second row, Ivan Muller and Jean-Carl Vernet, with Mehdi Benani and Norby Michelitz on the third row of the grid from Gabriele Tarquini and Frederic Vervisch. And then rounding out the top 10, Pepe Oriola and Timo Scheider, who gets the reverse grid pole for race 2 in his first ever visit to Macau, the former double DTM champion. There he is, 10th position on the grid. He is beaming from ear to ear and has been since he got here from first practice on Thursday. If anybody's been happy as Larry all weekend long, it's been Timo Scheider. He's absolutely loving life here at Macau.
Yeah, he's got the reverse grid for race 2 tomorrow, so he needs to look after his car today. Okay, they've got a bit of time to repair it, but you don't want it in the wall or anything like that. He wants a strong result. He's had his best qualifying. Whether the pennies dropped a little bit with him. Pirola, always good for a few sparks and excitement. But, he'll be in the mix at some point. Yeah, but Timo Scheider, the penny seems to have dropped with him. He was struggling with the TCR. You know, it's not his usual machinery he's used to, but it's probably on one of the hardest circuits they're going to go to on the calendar. He's having his best run yet.
So the top 10 is Huff, Guerrieri, Muller, Vernet, Benani, Michelitz, Tarquini, Vervisch, Oriola and Scheider. Behind that on row 6 it's Kevin Chekon, fresh from the Team Mulsanne's Alfa Romeo victory at Suzuka. Alongside him on the grid is John Filippi in the second of the DSG Cupras for the Campos team. Now Daniel Berton, not bad at all from qualifying, 13th on the grid alongside Marc Inglois. And then Ted Bjork, who struck the wall big time in Q1, ends up 15th on the grid. And considering he's a title contender, that's really compromised him. His thoughts on it were, well, I suppose I'd better help out Ivan now, but there's an awfully long way to go, was his view. Alongside him on the grid, Matteo Homola, then Luigi Ferrara and Tom Coronel. And then it's an all-Aurelion, row 10, Comte and Panis, Denis Dupont, Norbert Nagy, and then the 2 locals, Andre Couto and Felipe Souza, from Kevin Say and Billy Lowe. And then on the back row of the grid, fortunately, 27th, he had a 10-place grid penalty after crossing the white line on the exit of the pit lane and getting a 10-place grid demotion. And then Jan Erlacher is going to be starting dead last after he had to change an engine. And that's obviously why we've got 2 big names at the back of the grid in Shedden and Erlacher. That means we're going to get a couple of drivers, including Ted Bjork, of course, as well, in there in 15th, trying to fight their way through the field. Tarquini down there in 7th on the grid, Muller in 3rd. So there's an awful lot to get excited about on the run to Lisboa.
Yeah, just looking at Gabriele Tarquini here, it's I think it's not, this weekend is not about what points Gabrielli can amass, because he's not in stellar grid spots, but it's almost the pressure's not on him, it's on Muller, and which is strange because normally the chaser has no pressure, he can just throw caution to the wind, but it literally is. It is in within grasping distance of Jan Muller. You know, he can get this, he can do this with Tarquini's grid positions, lowly grid positions, and it's going to be difficult for him to score strong in the second and third races, or score at all. You could say Muller's got a real realistic chance at this.
I think the pressure cooker is going to come from Guerrieri, because of course he's very close to him in terms of pace. They're going to be side by side nearly on the run to Mandarin. He's going to want to get ahead of him early. He'll want to get a good start and power into second and just follow Rob Huff. A second place finish would be perfect for Ivan in this situation. But Guerrieri's not going to want to let him get there. They've already got bad blood. They've had a bit of a tiff in qualifying yesterday where Muller basically wouldn't speak to him about it. He said, go away. Guerrieri gesticulated to him and said, look, I want to have a conversation, and he wouldn't talk to him. So that could be a bit of an issue. If Guerrieri gets in Muller's head, that's going to be the real factor.
Guerrieri is already in Muller's head. You know, watching that little piece to camera yesterday, it was like Groundhog Day from a few weeks ago. Muller didn't want to speak to him back then. So, and he will hold a grudge, but you know, it's not a rolling start, not like the GT races or anything like that. So it's a standing start, and there's a long run down to Lisboa. So you know, there's a 10-stage process to get these cars off the line well. So it's one of the hardest parts of driving one of these cars is getting a good start. And with that big long run down to the first corner, probably the longest one they have on the calendar, you know, you could see these two side by side banging doors into there. You could see them really spaced out. So, but you could see someone from the third or fourth row up alongside them as well.
There could be a potential for fireworks at Mandarin. We had a little bit of a trip up in the GT race a little earlier on when Lawrence Van Tor got spat out into the barriers. Hopefully it's not going to happen in the WTCR. But this man, the Duke of Cambridge as he's now being known, Rob Huff, is going for win number 10 at Macau. After qualifying, it is hard to begrudge him the chance to do that. But the Union flags will be flying for him in race 1.
Seconds, stand by, 15 seconds. Esteban Guerrieri has 270 points now, having won 1 second. Theoretically, it's 7 points available for time. 2 points now.
The second longest green flag lap of the season begins as we go around the circuit d'Ogia. A lot of history, this place, for 65 years. Motor racing drivers the world over have been flocking to these fantastic streets. It is the Monaco of Asia, and it's even more money that turns through the casinos than in Las Vegas. It's a big, big race weekend, and anybody who is anybody has won here in the past. Of this current grid, only 4 drivers have won races in a touring car at Macau, and one of them on pole position is gunning for the 10th opportunity to do so.
That's right. That is, as you say, the Duke of Cambridge, Rob Huff. He's almost been. He has been in a class of his own in qualifying, especially sort of up the level from free practice, and he's gone. He's been right up there, and he's on pole now. He should, if he gets a good start. It's all about the start here. It's such a long run down to Lisboa, down through Mandarin. You know, anything can happen. We've seen them coming through there 4 abreast in previous years, and it all going horribly wrong. It was on the last, I can remember it on the last TCR race here. They were here, it all went wrong, and Huffy was, I think he had 1 win, and then one time he ended up in the wall on the run down through Mandarin, if memory serves me. So it's going to be a question of the start, how good can they make it. So obviously now just not allowed tyre warmers or anything in TCR regs, so they're making sure they got the rear tyres all up to temperature. You know, they're going to be going pretty quickly through Mandarin on that first lap on the run down to Lisboa. So making sure the brakes are warm enough, the clutch is warm enough. Standing start, you want the clutch warm but not too warm. So there's a lot of things they've got to focus on as a driver, and a little bit of housekeeping they've got to get in check before they line up in their grid boxes.
4 drivers on this grid have taken a victory in a premier category of touring car racing at Macau, including this man, Ivan Muller, who's done it twice. Norby Michelis and Mehdi Benani are the only other drivers of the 4 who have taken a victory here. For Rob Huff, he's going for win number 10. He's in a drag race at the moment with the motorcycle racer Michael Rutter to get to the double figures. But I have a feeling that Rob Huff is going to get there first. But what a sensational race this is set to be. For Rob Huff, he's got no pressure at all. He's not in the championship fight. He's had a bit of a topsy-turvy season in terms of luck. But now he's got a brilliant opportunity here to go for broke and go for the victory and show up the championship showdown. Race 1 of the season finale of the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Ascaro on the streets of Macau. 7 drivers gunning for the championship. Gabriele Tarquini leading the standings by 39 points to Ivan Muller. Neither of them are on the front row of the grid. It's Rob Huff, the Duke of Cambridge, gunning for win number 10 around the Macau streets, with alongside him Esteban Guerreri. Muller and Venet are on row 2 from Benani and Michelis, Tarquini and Vervish, Pepe Oriola and Timo Scheider rounding out the top 10. Jake Sanson and Matt Neal in the commentary box, Alexandre Legui down in the pits. It's going to be a really exciting first race here on the streets of Macau. Drama and action guaranteed aplenty around Macau. We are going to get it on in style. The green flag flies at the back of the grid, and action is about to get underway. Let's race to Macau. Perfect start for Rob Huff. He's got an absolute flyer. Muller's going to draw alongside Guerreri straight away. He'll come around the outside as they go through turn 1. Side by side, he's going to get alongside Huff. They're going to go 3 wide down the main straight. This is fantastic on the run to Mandarin. Guerreri's to the far end by the barriers. Huff is actually going to get overtaken here by Muller and Venet. Venet's going to pop in on the inside as well. Perfect start from John Carbonet. And now it's an absolute drag race. Tarquini's trying to move his way forward as well now. He's going to get up the inside of Guerreri into 4th position. Brilliant start by Tarquini, but Muller leads. That is crucial championship-wise.
Muller made an absolute dime start.
Oh, contact, that's Benani. Benani's been hit into by, well, in's gone check on. Vervish has got nowhere to go. Off we go into Lisboa. It's the regular scene at Macau.
Well, that's going to allow a few of them to make good places up. Beautiful start from Muller. We were all watching Huff, see who blinked first, and Muller just got the drop on him straight away. But slipperiness of the Audi allowed JK to slipstream up behind him and got on the boot of Muller, and I think it allowed the pair of them to out-drag Huffy. It was a 2 against 1 at that point.
No safety car called. Oh no, now safety car called. I thought we were going to get away with that one, but we have now got a safety car. Understandable, but it's Benani who ended up in the barriers there, locking horns with Frederik Vervish. So the two of them got together and started the melee. But what a start from Ivan Muller. He means business.
Muller, he knows how to win championships, doesn't he? And you obviously get a big points haul for, you know, the win is extra points, a nice haul of extra points. So Ivan, very unexpected him getting into that position.
Well, Kevin Chekon's got a left front puncture, and the car is not moving. He's trying to reverse it into the car park there.
I'd imagine he's going to try and drag it back, but
I think he's just going to let the car roll into the escape area. But safety car is called on lap 1 of Macau. Not exactly a surprise.
So Tarquini's done well as well. He's up to 4th position. Manages to stay out of trouble, which not easy because Benani was starting in front of him. So he's lucky, managed to out-drag him there, and he's still got his wingman behind him, Michelitz.
Let's watch this start again. Watch Muller in behind Rob Huff. He's got a great start. He's going to get up alongside Guerreri. Vinay's going to realise how good a start he's got, and he's going to go with him. Watch this. He now flicks across to the right and gets in behind Muller and goes with him. This is brilliant drafting work from Vinay. He slots in. Guerreri's alongside Huff and is trying to squeeze him, but Muller and Vinay are already to the inside and are gone. Now watch Tarquini, because he's going to get a good run on his teammate. Well, he's already got his teammate, Michelis, by the way, sorry. And he draws up alongside Guerreri beautifully to not into 4th position. That means that Muller's on schedule now for 27 points. Tarquini's on schedule for 14, so the gap will go down from 39.
We never saw what happened to Benani. Did he jump or was he pushed? I know he was going for it down the inside. Then it's just further compounded when Chekon just clips his left rear wheel.
Yeah, nothing really Chekon could do about that to avoid it. When you suddenly realise you've got a split second to react, and that's the difference between 2 or 3 degrees of turning angle of the steering wheel that's going to save you. But what a start from Muller. That's going to gain, if it stays like this, 13 points on Tarquini in the championship fight. It's game on. So let's see what happened. We're still not really going to see the moment.
Just comes out of shot. You know,
did you see how close?
Michelitz, it looked like someone's tagged the back of Michelitz on the way in as well. And he, yeah, so Oriolo was going down the inside of Chekon, and that sort of bumped him in. I think it was Oriolo. It might have been John Philippi.
Benani was facing the wrong way as he came into shot. I wonder, did he tag Michelis and spin the car trying to avoid a bigger accident, and Vervish went into him?
He was going down the inside of one of the Hondas. I think he was going down the inside of Schneider or someone like that, because he dropped back a fair bit off the start. He made a quite lackluster start.
Well, as it turns out, Chekon has got the car going, so he has been able to find a gear or two.
It's a long lap round though, so the drama he's going to have is trying not to destroy the suspension on that little Alfa as he sort of limps back to the pits. But
yeah, because in qualifying we saw Aurelian Panis take some big damage. He went into the barriers at Police and basically started shedding carbon fibre as he went around the...
But at least with the safety car out, if he limped back, he almost might be able to get out, still back out on the lead lap and catch back up. Depends how... It shouldn't take them long to clear that lot up. You know, there's no sort of major damage, and they are pretty speedy here at getting the cars out the way with the crane system. So we might see the lights go off.
Yeah, as long as it's only a puncture for Chekon, you'll be all right. But it's that's a big margin of error if it isn't. But here's the order: Muller leading from Vinay. Brilliant start from JK. Huff in 3rd. 4th is Tarquini from Michelis. Guerreri down in 6th. Not a great start at all for the Argentine. Yet more bad luck. Oriola's 7th. Schneider is 8th.
Yeah, he was. Guerreri was alongside Huffy going into Lisboa, so I don't know how he's got shuffled back behind the two BRC Hyundais.
That's a very good point. Well, Tarquini was 4th, and I think they just got him on the way through Mandarin. I think he just got out wide, because Tarquini popped up into 4th and Michelis went with him. So
well, he was definitely alongside Huffy on the run through Mandarin.
He was. So I think he's just got out wide. Game over for Chekon. That's a shame.
That's it for today. Yeah, that tyre's had its day, hasn't it?
Well, the tyre's had its day, and I'm fairly sure it's done something even worse to the suspension itself, which is a real shame. In 9th position behind Scheider is Jinghua Ma. Oh, that's a separate incident for
That's a
Dupont.
separate one, yeah.
And he very nearly got driven into there by Comte. He was so lucky to get away with that. He's flirting with his back bumper.
Ganged up on by a pair of Peugeots, wasn't it?
We're going green.
Okay.
Ted Bjork is in 10th position, by the way. He's made a lot of gains in that first corner incident.
Now Muller's got to be careful here. That Audi's very fast in a straight line, the shape of it, so he's got a good getaway, but so is the boys behind him, especially Huff. He's right on the boot of JK, which will help JK down the straight.
It's not a textbook restart from Ivan Muller. Here comes JK. He's going to go for it into Mandarin. He's got a championship to win as well, don't forget. He dives through. Muller lets him go. But is he going to retaliate again into Lisboa? Of course he is. He's Ivan Muller. He's not going to back down from the challenge. Here he goes again. Vinay's going to protect to the inside. Huff is there to the outside as well. Snaking under braking. Rob Huff trying to get the car stopped. Into Lisboa. And he slots in. But it's game on now. And more contact. Oh, no,
again.
It's done again. Now, that is Filippi that's gone into the barriers. So that was Ted Bjork, I think, trying to get on the inside. Yeah, but damage to Bjork. He's trying to make progress through the field, and he's tagged Filippi into a spin.
That's a nightmare for Muller, though. There's a big chunk of points he's losing for first place there.
7 points lost,
in the championship position. And JK is going to be hard to overtake. He's been very fast in free practice. His qualifying didn't really do him justice with the pace he had in that Audi, and the speed he's got down the straight. That's going to be tough for Muller to pull it back.
Yeah, he was going to gain 13 on Tarquini. He's only going to gain 6 on him if it stays like this, so he really needs to get past JK. Huff is there in 3rd position, and that's another problem for Ivan Muller. Do you know how fast Huff is around here?
They've got history, these two, and Huff is looking pretty racy. He's the man around here, and so he's going to, he's on the podium at the moment. Well, he's going to smell a win. Nothing to lose. He wants to win.
Tarquini's grinning from ear to ear, sat in 4th place. He can just watch this unfold and just keep out of the wall.
Well, Gabrielli's got his wingman sat behind him. He can just sit there, sitting pretty, and watch Muller get all stressed and hot under the collar out in front of him.
This is advantage Tarquini, actually, because Muller's in a really difficult position. He wants to get past Vinay. He's got Huff breathing down his neck, wanting to get past him. Muller's under pressure here, not Tarquini. Although Tarquini's behind Muller, and he's going to lose points. He's only going to lose 6, and that's not that big a problem. Mikkel is in 5th, Guerreri in 6th position, with Oriola in 7th ahead of Scheider, Bjork, and Luigi Ferrara. Luigi Ferrara in 10th position. Cool, he's made a massive benefit from those incidents in the first couple of laps. Homela's 11th, and in 12th position is Tom Coronel. Then it's Comte, Couto, Souza, Erlascher, Vervish, Kevin Say, Belton, and Shedden.
Well, if it finishes like this, or even remotely like this, then the 7 championship contenders go down to 2 for tomorrow's races. So it'll be a straight out fist fight between Ivan Muller and Gabriele Tarquini at that point.
Well, there's been a few changes to the order because of the restart. So Bjork is now 9th from Ferrara, Hommler, Coronel, Vervish and Erlascher. Couto 15th. This is a bit of a battle. Pepe Oriola trying to get by as he battles with Esteban Guerreri. What has happened to the pace for Esteban Guerreri? He's got absolutely nothing at the moment.
Well, I think he's bottled up behind Michelitz. Michelitz is dropping back off Tarquini, but I think that's more of a case if he's defending hard to Guerreri. That's costing him a bit of track position, as he's just worried about, holding him back, giving Gabriele plenty of breathing space, no pressure, just in case anything does happen to Michelitz. He's given his teammates some breathing space from the guys behind him.
Well, also critically, Michelitz is going to be playing the team game, isn't he? Because if it stays like this, the M Racing team are going to get 22 points for Muller in 2nd and Bjork in, 24 points for Muller in 2nd and Bjork in 9th. The 2 BRC cars are 4th and 5th, so they're going to score 26. So they're actually going to pull away to the tune of 2 more points. So it's quite critical that Michelitz doesn't lose too many places here, because they don't want to lose points to their chief rivals. They want to gain points. They want to get away from them. So Michelitz being in 5th place is very important as far as the team's title is concerned.
There's a certain fair queue building up behind him now, isn't there?
Micheliz, Guerreri, Oriola and Scheider. That's how close Rob Huff is getting to Muller at Melko. They get back on the power.
Huff has been blisteringly quick in qualifying, but where he is fast through sectors sort of 2, 3 and 4, was that JK running a bit wide through Fisherman? Where Huffy is quick, you can't overtake. It's too technical. It's a one-line run through that part of the circuit.
Balance of performance is going to make this such an exciting final 5 laps of this race, because there are parts of the racetrack where Audi are strong, parts of the track where Hyundai are strong, and now that Vernay's in front, the power can really kick in for Vernay, and he can gain a couple of tenths potentially, but Muller's got him on the slipstream, so by the time they get through to Lisboa and then make the climb to San Francisco Hill, Muller's snapping at Vernay's heels again. One mistake, and this race turns on a dial.
This is when it's racing, isn't it? You know, in Formula One now, you've got made-up overtaking with DRS and all the hybrid systems and everything.
It's artificial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's artificial. There's no straight scraps anymore. There's overtaking, but it's almost false overtaking. But yeah, JK made a bit of a mistake at Fisherman's on that, just to allow Muller to get a bit onto the back of him. But normally, you'd say the Hyundai's the heaviest thing out there, so it's going to be harder on the tyres and everything. But this time out, the Audi's running at the full 60 kilos. The Hyundai is slightly lighter. It's 40 kilos. Huff a bit lighter again, 30 kilos. So he's the weight advantage. Muller should be slightly kinder on his tyres than the Audi. So we could see it sort of, the balance of strength change as the race progresses.
Very exciting stuff so far. Wherever Vernay tries to put the car, Muller is right in behind him, trying to gain the upper hand, and Rob Huff is coming along for the ride. Tarquini's slipping back a bit, but does he need to panic at this point? Not really.
No, Gabrielli just needs to keep it out of the wall at this point. Keep on picking up the points, and as I say, it's his to lose at the moment. Muller's got everything to win, but he's certainly got a fight on his hands at the moment.
Game over for Dennis Dupont. Game on for these three. Through Donna Maria, Vernay, Muller and Huff. Absolutely locked horns. This is the 2017 TCR International Champion against the absolute king of World Touring Cars over the last few years, Ivan Muller, against the king of Macau, Rob Huff. This is the absolutely... Oh, red flags. Red flags. The race has been stopped. Now, what's that for? We haven't seen anything yet. Oh, that's why. It's an absolute carbon copy of the GT race last year. Shedden's gone, then it's Couton, Berton, Comte, Banani and Co.
So why is that red flagged? Couldn't they just...
Well, there's no way through. The cars were stopped and the track was blocked. It's a carbon copy, very nearly, minus hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of damage. They seem to have got away with that without too much damage, but the track is blocked. Now, because there's not a lot of damage, we might get a restart. It doesn't look like there are a huge amount of parts all over the place.
We're over 50% distance, aren't we?
That was on lap 5, or sorry, lap 6 that the race was stopped.
8 laps total. So we haven't got to 70% distance.
Well, as long as there's not damage, as long as they can get the cars moving again, we might get a restart here. Let's have a look at how it happened. And that's Gordon, unfortunately, going in. Oh, what a shame. And look, the car is just completely blocking the circuit there. Couto stops and slams in with a little bit of damage from Berton and Banani. In goes Comte, but he slows down. See, there's not damage. There's not a massive amount of damage there. It's cosmetic at best.
The skeptic, you almost go, or the cynical, you go, is that stage? So JK gets the win. WRT, but I know it wasn't and wouldn't be.
Let's be fair, he's not Nelson Piquet Jr., is he, Gordon Shedden?
You've got a good memory, haven't you?
JK's happy. Hello. I could win this. He's waving. He thinks he's won the race. He might have done if they don't restart it.
Well, I don't think they've done enough distance, Jake. And then he's got to do another standing start again, another opportunity for Muller to get in front of him. So, not good for JK.
Well, if the race gets restarted, then it's game on again. But considering where we are, Vernay's they're all getting out of the cars, helmets off and everything. I don't think this is going to be a long stoppage because Gordon did get the car moving again, by the look of it. I don't think he'll be able to take up the restart because I think there was too much damage from the intensity of the hit. Xinhua Ma not looking too happy about things.
No, I think it's got to be a restart, Jake, which is, I don't know why JK's smiling, because he was sitting pretty there, and now he's got to do it all again with the drag down to the first corner.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't know how big the accident is. Here it is again. This is Gordon just going in with way too much speed. His car might be done for the day, but watch the other cars coming into shot. Now, this is brilliant avoidance from Andre Couto. Look, he knows it's coming. Berton and Banani nudge him. I don't think that's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, Gordon's in a left hooker car then. That could have gone horribly wrong with this. You know, the one thing you're always scared of in these things, that you are very well protected in them, but it's the side hit. If someone's, you know, we've got a lot of side protection and crash protection these days, but if someone's coming into your door at 100 kilometers an hour, they're coming in. So the guys behind him were on the double then, and Flash lives to breathe another day.
So Shedden is out. I'm fairly sure everybody else can take up the restart again. I think we'll be all right.
Well, Hovey's got to look at this as a great opportunity. He's didn't mess his start up. It's just the two behind him had blinders. You know, I thought Hovey had a good start actually. He was fast out the blocks, got the legs on Guerreri, but
I've got this fantastic
contemplating.
I've got this fantastic screenshot of Shedden holding up the entirety of the field behind him that caused the red flag, and it does look an absolute carbon copy of the GT race last year, minus hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of damage. Tarquini is probably fairly chilled at the moment, actually. 4th position, and that is the best of a bad job, isn't it? That's damage limitation. He's not going to lose that many points to Ivan Muller, especially if they don't restart it and it's only declared half points.
Well, as Neil Hudson says, it would be half points if it was stopped now, but there's no reason not to restart it. You know, the timetable's pretty open. We've only got one race today, so
we're not behind schedule either from the other races, so there is no reason that I can see. They're just doing the safety car tour now. There's no reason that I can see. I'm sure that it's going to get confirmed, but we should be able to restart this no problem. There was not a massive amount of damage in that incident. It looked pretty awful because obviously there was no path through. But considering how quick-witted, how quick the reactions were from Couto and Banani and co behind him, and Berton, I think, was the real hero of the day there because he saw that coming, didn't lock up, rolled off the brakes, blipped, made sure that there was a little nudge, but nothing more. So I think Berton is the man who saved the race here, because he could have just gone blindly in and not seen it in time, but his reactions, I think, have saved the restart.
Yeah, just seeing Mehdi Banani there. He's down in 19th now. That was not a good start from him, considering he was 5th on the grid.
No, indeed. I mean, he was the one who got, I'm guessing he got tipped into a spin with a little bit of a fisticuff by Michaelis.
He looked as though he was going in hot to me, Jake. So, I don't know. Just on board with Bruno Carrera, our safety car genius.
Timo Scheider still having a lot of good luck here. He's in 8th place. And that would be his first points of the year, because his highest finish before this is 11th.
Well, it's all race mileage. You know, he got the reverse grid for tomorrow morning. And every mile is round here he can get. He's a rookie round Macau. He's still a relative rookie to TCR regs. So every mile he can get, every lap he can get, is all good experience.
So this is going to be a fascinating race if and when we restart. And I really hope I mean when, because I can't see any reason why we wouldn't. But it's J.K. Venet from Muller, Huff and Tarquini at the red flag. So Alex has found somebody down on the starting grid.
Esteban, a really disappointing start for you. It looked like something happened between you and Mehdi. Can you talk us through it?
Well, before that, in Mandarin, I was bad position in the outside. I saw
Rob and Ivan fighting, and they were slowing each other down. So I tried to get my speed around the outside, but not enough. So then I just backed off before Mandarin, otherwise it was going to be a 3 wide and was not going to finish very good, I think. And then I couldn't get a good run out of Mandarin, so I got passed by the 2 other Hyundais. And arriving to Lisboa, Mehdi did one of his moves and went on the inside, and I don't know, he crashed into all other cars. So I just, when I saw that I saw him coming, I just backed off and cut the corner and just open again my view again, and yeah, P6. Yeah, a little bit disappointed, but we'll try to fight.
Looked like there was some interesting tactics from BRC. Looked like you're right behind Norby, who's holding up the pack. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he's holding up the pack. I am quicker, but hard to overtake because we had the issue on the straight line reaching the limiter too early, unfortunately. So I have to, instead of being attacking, I have to defend. But yeah, this is how it is, and let's try to do the best.
Sounds like you called it right with Bernani at Lisboa then.
Yeah, it sounds like Esteban was, being all professional about it, not trying to win it at the first corner, even though track position is king round Macau. He was trying to take it easy, got out-drafted by the 2 BRC Hyundais working together, and then it was Bernani doing a do or die down the inside, which, how many times have we seen that into Lisboa? And 9 times out of 10 it always goes wrong because it's so tight into there. You throw it at the inside. I think Bernani was obviously just choked that he'd lost so many places on there and was trying to make a load back.
Restart in 9 minutes.
Norby, I'm quite intrigued by your tactics around the streets of Macau. Can you talk us through what you're up to?
To be honest, I was very lucky after the start. I had a big hit on my right rear and the car is bent. So I'm doing my best, but it's not easy with Esteban behind. So I hope I can survive the race.
Looks like you've got your elbows very, very wide.
Yeah, need to. I mean, you have to balance it in a proper way, but for me, it's full or everything or nothing.
Any intentions of making an attack on Gabby?
We'll see. I mean, he's faster than me, so it's not a lot of possibilities. And also, to be honest, the main target is to have him safe because of the championship.
Gold star to Alex Legui for asking the question we're all thinking. Because that's exactly what we're thinking. Your elbows are wide, not because the car is any trickier to handle. He did get a big hit, but I don't think it's bent that much. I think Alex is right to ask him that question. It's quite clear that he's holding station, isn't he? He's playing the team game. I
think actually the gold star, driving-wise, should go to Yann Lachey. He started 31st on the grid. He's up to 14th.
That's astonishing.
On a track that you can't overtake.
Yeah, you can't overtake at Macau. Yeah, you can.
As well as Carnage. I mean, he's threaded the eye of a needle and managed to get through completely unscathed.
That looked like a very frustrating start for you. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, I mean, got a good launch, but then got some wheel spin. But then in a straight line, we're sitting ducks. JK's got about 10k on us. He can drive past, I think, anyone in a straight. But of course, he's got a car which is quick at the top. I think Ivan and I are quicker than JK at the top, but unless you can overtake in a straight line here, you're doomed. But we're still in a good position. We can still move forward, and let's see what we can do.
Good point from Rob Huff, because over 1 lap, he is the quickest man here because there's a lot of twisty bits. But the problem is that start-finish straight, the Audi does have the grunt. So it's always going to be a tricky one for Rob Huff, but we're going to get a restart, and it's going to be pretty frenetic right from the get-go. Is there going to be a win for Vernet, Muller, or Huff?
JK, when we spoke yesterday, you said that you really, really wanted a yellow flag. You had it come into your hands, and now looking down there, that is your view right now.
mean, it's looking good. Very good start. Maybe the best start of the season. And I was able to help Ivan. I mean, Ivan was inside, so I wanted to help him, push him, and go with him to Mandarin. And then safety car. So that the plan was perfect. After we have great top speed, was able to overtake him and off away to Rob. So I think the racing was pretty good. Obviously, Ivan is quicker than me in the whole city. But yeah, I mean, I want the win, you know. Here I raced 6 times, I finished 5 times on the podium, so I want to continue these stats and yeah, just to thank the team for the great job they made the whole week. Thank you.
Season finale of the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Ascaro here at the famous Macau street circuit. We're under red flags after 5 laps. What have you missed? Well, Rob Huff from pole position, Guerreri, Muller and Vernet. Muller and Vernet getting a cracking start. And Muller managing to take the lead early on from Vernet, but on the second lap, Vernet drafted him and managed to get the lead away. We had a bit of an incident on the run to the first corner with Bernani trying to make a move around the outside of Guerreri at Lisboa. There was a little bit of a nudge. Bernani ended up having a little bit of a spin and ended up basically collecting Vervish and Chekon. Chekon out of the race. A couple of laps further in, we lost Gordon Shedden, who went straight into the wall at police, starting a chain reaction which was almost a carbon copy of the GT race last year. Not quite. Track was blocked, and that's why we are under red flags. With Shedden out on the spot, everybody else able to restart. Fascinating racing prospect, though, for the restart, because we've got Vernet, last year's TCR International Champion, Ivan Muller, fighting for the world title this year, and the King of Macau, Rob Huff, in a trio, snaking each other around the circuit, with Tarquini sat in 4th place. Quite positive about things.
Guys. Yeah, a few on-track repairs we can see going on. The start was a critical point in the first leg, we have to say, of this race. So, and it's going to be equally as critical again. You know, Huffy can right all his wrongs because Huffy's fast out the box. But the other one of the best starters on the grid, Jake, is Gabriele Tarquini, who's already up to 4th place. Sitting Ivan, he could jump, he could be right back on the podium in this, and then suddenly strong points for the championship leader.
Oh, to be in the mind of Ivan Muller right now in 2nd place. He wants to win this because he's got a lot of points to gain on Gabriele Tarquini across these 3 races. There is the standings at the moment, 39 between them. As it stands at the moment, this is how it would look. Tarquini on 305 and Muller on 272. So he'd only gain 7 points, I think, over the course of the race.
Yeah, both these two, they've been around the block. They know the score. They're not going to be sitting in those cars getting wound up. They're going to be sat in there, completely staying as emotionless as they can about the whole affair, not thinking about whether they need to be 3rd, they need to be 1st, or whatever. They're just going to be going, right, how am I going to make the best start I possibly can? How am I going to get my tyres warm enough, my brakes warm enough, everything, all for the start to try and make the perfect start, and then just take the race as it comes to them. You know, it's not going to be won and lost, as Gabriele said in this race, but it's going to certainly have a big bearing on it.
Yeah, he'll gain 6 points if he stays where he is, Muller, ahead of Tarquini, not 7, my apologies. So he'll score 20 if he finishes 2nd. Tarquini looking at 14 points scored if he stays 4th, and that's not enough points gained for Muller to be comfortable at the moment. So when this race restarts, we're going to have a pretty exciting battle. They're obviously going to have to go for a green flag lap. It is the longest green flag lap apart from the Nordschleife on the calendar. So pretty incredible. There's the confirmation. Race restart at 15:05, which is in 60 seconds. So this is going to be a bit of an electric one because there's going to be several drivers out to prove a point here. Ted Bjork is down in 11th position, although he has gained some ground. But as you mentioned before, Jan Erlascher is coming straight back into this race. Started back in 28th on the grid. He's made his way through the entirety of the field, half of it at least. 14 places gained from his starting point, so he's gone halfway through the field. The big sufferers from this first start, effectively, are Berton, who slipped all the way down to 17th now. Benani is 18th. Marching War is all the way down in 25th if he restarts, because he's got some damage. So Marching War has not had a great start.
I mean, we've gone on about Jan Erlascher, and he's done a stellar job. It's a shame for Gordon Chentham because he was, oh my, it's like one of those party legs you put under the front of the car, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
But Gordon made up great ground as well. He was up to 15th from 28th on the grid, so he'd been going well. It's just ended up going wrong at the wrong time.
And as Phil Kinch has pointed out, there's another man we need to keep an eye on here, Andre Couto. He's up to 15th. So this is going to be interesting. The wild card could end up sneaking into the top 10 here.
I think he's got a long way to go. Gets into the top 10 this time.
Oh, and as I say that, he's not moving. Disaster, the car hasn't started.
Got to do it all again now.
Oh, that's cruel luck for the man who won the Macau Grand Prix back in 2000. What a shame. He was doing such a good job as well. Commentator's curse right there. I'm so sorry, Andre.
He's not even going to be able to bump start it, is he?
No, no chance. So they're going to bring him through the pit wall, and he's going to be out of the race. That's such a shame.
That is. At least they've got a long to green flag for these guys to go around to get the car out of the way.
Now, how is the state of affairs for John Filippi? Because he took that trip into the barriers, didn't he? He spun through Lisboa. I think he was nudged there. And it looks to me as though he's still going around. Marching War has left the pits. John Filippi hasn't, actually. So John Filippi is still in pit lane. So is Kevin Say. So he's out of the race. Dennis Dupont, I think they've got that car restarted. With all that damage to the rear end, it looks to me as though they've been able to get him back out there. So Couto has been put back into the pit lane. Safety car in this lap, of course.
Oh, so it's starting. It's not a full restart. It's starting at...
Yeah, safety car in this lap.
Okay, right, okay.
Now that is going to be a problem.
No, that is...
For several drivers. But for Muller, it's pretty much perfect.
Naively, I thought they'd do a full restart on this one, but it's not. It's going to start behind the safety car, which is actually perfect for JK.
Because he can bolt away. The man who's got an advantage...
Well, there's no lottery, is there? There's no lottery of the standing start again.
No, indeed. The man who's got a great chance here off the restart is Rob Huff in 3rd position. He can get a good draft in behind Ivan Muller and make a lunge into Lisboa.
Not if it, you know, if it was a standing start, it would be game on, open season again. But you know, he's still going to have that straight line disadvantage on the run down to.
That is true.
To Lisboa.
The Hyundai is quicker in a straight line than the Volkswagen. That is a good point.
And the Audi's quicker than the pair of them.
So this could be game, set, and match for JK.
I think Huffy's almost got to be careful if Tarquini's going to be starting up his chuff. Get a good slipstream on him. You know, he's going to be busy defending. The only bonus for him is Tarquini's not going to want to do anything stupid. He's going to be happy with points for 4th. But if he can get a clean slipstream past Huffy's VW, Tarquini's not going to say no.
I'm going to keep an eye on Norby Michelis in this restart because Esteban Guerreri did say he was quite frustrated at how Michelis is basically holding the field up to play the team game for BRC. Whether that's true or not remains under debate.
Vernet's gone early.
He has gone quite early. He's gone through Fisherman's and bolted. So here we go. Let's see what happens as they go through the final turn. He's got to make sure he gets it right, but the top 4 have gone absolutely together. We ride on board with Pepe Oriola as he slots in behind Guerreri on the restart. Here we go. They fly through the left-hander, through Reservoir and up towards the Mandarin. And Huffy's right there, he's going for it. But he's not going to get a move, so he's going to have to slot in behind Muller. Tarquini may go for the move, though. Here comes Tarquini. Watch out for him on Huff. He may get a run into Lisboa himself. Huff's going to move to cover it. And that's going to be as you were. Top four are going to remain in the top four.
Benet snaking a bit under the brakes there. I was wondering whether he was just going to outdo himself, but all through Lisboa, clean on...
Oh, a moment, that's Berton. Berton tagging in with Bernani, I think, again. I'm fairly sure that was Bernani with him again. So that's yet another incident at Lisboa for Bernani.
I hope Bernani's got plenty of checks in his checkbook when he goes up to the steward's office.
Oh dear, how many times in one race can you see the stewards? Poor Mehdi. You need to calm down a bit, mate. So Benet, Muller, Huff and Tarquini at the sharp end. Then it's Michelis and Guerreri. Watch those two, because Guerreri is going to get irritated if Michelis holds him up for any length of time. Tarquini's actually fallen away from the top three a little bit now, actually. Bit of a gap, but nothing to be concerned about still, because Michelis is still holding the rest of the field at bay.
Yeah, I mean, historically, you'd say Guerreri's got a real Latin temperament. He's quite a hot-headed, you know, he's flamboyant driver, but
that's why we love him.
He's spectacular to watch, and he's been quite controlled around here, and just been a bit unfortunate with caught up in the Bernani thing on lap one, and he's sort of it's hard to fight your way back from there.
They snake out of Donna Maria and up towards Melko. This is going to get interesting if Muller senses, you know, I've got to beat this guy. 39 points is the gap. I'm only going to gain 6 if I stay in second. I need to get past JK. He's going to be absolutely relentless. In the mid-sectors, he's going to need to be right on the back of JK to set him up for a move at the first opportunity, because Muller wants to gain that additional 7 points.
Well, that leading trio, you could literally throw a blanket over him at the moment, and when they get out into on the run down to out of Melko, the run down to Fishman's and Arbend. Here we go. Let's see if anyone can get in the slipstream for him.
Huff might get a run on Muller before Muller gets a run on Benet, but Muller is trying to get into the draft of Benet and set something up here.
This is it. This is the last lap.
Through Reservoir and down towards Mandarin. Huff's going to make a lunge towards Muller. Setting him up now. So Huff is going to try and make a move towards Muller. He had to back out of that one, so he's going to wait for another opportunity. Muller's trying to go towards Benet, who pulls further across to stop any move coming. And he's a little deep into Lisboa. He made a mistake there. Muller's going to try and go for a move potentially. Benet's snaking around, trying to keep him second guessing. The two BRCs are 4th and 5th. Guerreri's dropped off the back of him. We're looking back to Timo Scheider. Guerreri is now behind Oriola. So we're on board with Guerreri. That's his teammate behind him. This is going to get very interesting. Guerreri's got major difficulties. Scheider's going to get an opportunity if he's not careful.
Yeah, Schneider doesn't want to do anything silly. He's got pole for tomorrow morning's race, so he doesn't want to put the car in the wall or anything.
These three are absolutely locked together here. Muller tries again to have a look at Vernet as they come up towards Teddy Ip and up through the Solitude S's.
I have to say, these the Hyundai and the VW have definitely got the legs on the Audi through this technical section.
Into Police, up the climb to Moorish. Rob Huff right on the bumper of Ivan Muller. It doesn't get much closer than this.
You can see the frustration in Huffy, the where he's placing the car. He's just itching, isn't he? Itching to get forward.
Well, if he could get past these two,
he'd be gone.
He'd be absolutely disappearing into the distance. He'd dominate, but there's just that difficulty. He just can't get through.
You'd have to say the speed of these front three cars is in reverse order at the moment. Huffy looks the fastest, Ivan looks the second fastest, and JK.
Guerreri's found a way back through Oriola. We didn't see that, but he's got back in front of Oriola on this lap. So he's now on the back of Michelis again. And Michelis is basically holding station, so we'll need to keep one eye on what's going on in the background. There's Tarquini. Behind him is his teammate Michelis with Guerreri all over the back of him.
So is this the last lap, or have we got any laps added on
this
for
is
the
going to be
car?
This is going to be the last lap coming up, I think.
Is it?
Because we've completed 9 now.
No,
Here we go, last lap. We've done 9 out of 10 because they've added on an additional lap by the look of it. So this is going to be the last lap.
It was going to be an 8-lap race, wasn't it?
It was. They added another lap, I think, because of the safety car, and then they added another one because of the red flag. Scheider's going to get a little bit of a run here from Luigi Ferrara. Ferrara goes to one side, then changes his tack and goes for the other. Impressive from Guerrieri to manage to get away from Scheider again and then get back past Oriola. We'll keep an eye on this. Michaelis has got a bit of distance between himself and Guerrieri.
Well, if Michaelis is...
Bjork
having a look.
Hommler manages to hang on to 10th position. Still great scrapping in the final lap here of the first race of the weekend for the FIA WTCR by Ascaro. Still great racing. Jan Erlascher on the back of Tom Coronel, trying to fend off Mehdi Benani, who's making friends with everybody. Was that too much sarcasm?
Oh, Benani's...
Did he go for a move there?
He did.
He is. He's going to get alongside Jan Erlascher, and Jan's not having any of that.
I thought that was going to end. I didn't know two to that corner could go.
Obviously, his name was ringing in his ears then, as I was talking about him.
Or his engineer was ringing in his ears.
Stop it! What are you playing at? Back at the front, Tarquini's still there in P4, and look, Guerrieri getting frustrated behind Michaelis on the last lap. I've had enough of staring at that exhaust pipe.
A bit of adjustment there, whether it be the brake bias or whatever. Yeah, you can see he's just got the legs on Michelitz at the moment.
Into Moorish, never going to get through there. Just got to hope that Michaelis makes a mistake. That's the only way it's really going to change. But again, nothing doing. Up at the front, J.K. Vinay under no threat. Not really from Muller. It's still close in the top 3, but it's going to be enough for Muller to have to settle for 2nd position behind Rob Huff. Tarquini's dropped right off the back of them, but he doesn't care. 4th position is not bad going at all, as the checkered flag is being prepared for J.K. Vinay, and that's going to be an amazing victory for him, and it will be his 4th victory of the season to draw him level with Ted Bjork. A great run from J.K. Vinay, and he is going to get the victory here after an absolutely fantastic first race. The checkered flag will fly for J.K. Vinay. Oh, it's the final lap now, my apologies. Final lap now.
We're going for 3 final laps.
3 final laps.
You and
that's, oh, I feel really silly for that now. Apologies. Vinay, Muller and Huff now coming through again. We're on board with Ivan Muller. That's the deficit he's got to make to JK. But he's also got to try and hold off Huff behind him now.
Audi is just too quick in a straight line, isn't it? Considering it's fully laden with weight, obviously the saloon shape. Oriola having another look back at Guerrieri. Guerrieri's got him covered.
Snaking under braking. There's so much travel in the car under brakes for Lisboa because you're at the fastest point of the circuit down to one of the slowest parts of the circuit.
You know, the Honda's one of the best cars for drag. The new FK8, the shape of the FK8 is one of the best cars for drag there is out there. But the car, you know, the Hondas don't seem stellar in a straight line, which you've got to say that is the balance of performance really working in their favour at the moment.
On board again with Muller. Just so much time to make up on J.K. Vinay on the last lap because of how fast he is in a straight line. Fastest lap of the race is J.K. Vinay, the 2:31.3, and that is going to smash the previous race lap record. But largely that, of course, is down to the Yokohamas.
Yeah, but it's nothing like they were getting down to in qualifying. It's, you know, they're almost a good 2 seconds off at the moment. So you've got to say Vinay is controlling the race, watching the guys behind him.
I think Huffy senses a chance at second here. I think he thinks there might be an opportunity. He's trying to stay with Muller as much as possible, as the engineers over at Audi Sport Leopard Lukoil look on at their man J.K. Vinay, gunning for win number 4. Can he hang on to it? Through Melko, he goes deep. Muller's trying to get a good run off the turn. Huff is in there behind. There might just be a chance for Huff on Muller, but I don't think there's going to be a chance for Muller on Vinay. JK is going to come into Fisherman's for the last time. He's timed this absolutely to perfection. He's made it look good. And this will be an absolutely textbook opening race. His 4th win of the season into R for the last time. And in race 1 here at Macau for the FIA World Touring Car Cup finale via Scaro, JK Venet, Jean-Carl Venet takes the victory in Macau. Muller is second and Huff is third. And that's what it means to the boys at Audi Sport Leopard Lukoil. Tarquini fourth, game on for the title showdown.
Yeah, strong finish for Tarquini. Muller just misses out on those valuable points for the race win, but still closes the gap on Tarquini. Now just 2 people in the championship fight. It's a straight dust-up between Muller, but Muller is going to have track position tomorrow, so he's got the chance of pulling in a big haul of points tomorrow, while Tarquini's got to fight his way back into the top 10.
So Venet takes his 4th win of the season and the team's 5th, of course, after Gordon Shedden scored a victory for them at Suzuka. Ivan Muller will have to be content with 2nd place. That'll be frustrating because that could have been a 7-point bonus if he'd have won the race. So the gap between him and Tarquini comes down. Look at that, 305 to 272. That's a 33-point gap now rather than a 39-point gap. But it could have been 26.
That is definitely doable, Jake. That is definitely doable for Muller.
Especially with Tarquini down in 14th for the next 2 races. Let's take into account that Tarquini will start races 2 and 3 outside of the points. Muller will not be in the top 5 for one of the races. He'll be 6th for one, but he'll be 5th for the other. He's going to need to fight his way through to podium positions. If he can score 2 podiums with Tarquini outside the points, that would do it. You're right, because he would score... If he finishes 3rd twice, Muller, in the 2 races, let's say that's all he can get, he will score 34 points.
That's all he needs.
That's all he needs if Tarquini doesn't score. Goodness me, this could get very, very tight.
That is easily doable.
This could go down to the very last lap of the very last race of the season.
That is easily doable for him.
A victory would have been sweeter, and it would have made it a little bit easier, but Ivan Muller knows that with Tarquini starting down in 14th in the next 2 races, he's in the danger zone for trouble. Sadly, the Duke of Cambridge has to wait for the double-figure victory. Doesn't get win number 10 yet, but he could still do it tomorrow, of course. 2 opportunities to get that one sorted. But the man who finishes in the points for the first time this year, Timo Scheider, who finishes 8th, will start pole position for race 2 tomorrow. This man, Gabriele Tarquini, pretty good result, actually, considering where he started, considering what was at stake. 4th position keeps him at the top.
Muller's going to have his work to do. He's starting 5th and 6th with the reverse grid and the main grid tomorrow. So to get onto the podium, he has got his work cut out. I would say if I was a betting man, it still favours Tarquini. But there'll be a few sleepless people tonight, won't there?
Well, there'll be a few people popping into the casino, putting a cheeky bet on Ivan Muller, because if you win that, that's going to be a good return for your effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it's worth an outside bet. But JK's done all he can at the moment to keep himself in the championship fights. Shame they just got slipped out. There was just too much of a points deficit before they arrived here at Macau. But he's the Audi's worked well around here, and you'd have to say he's looking strong for tomorrow as well.
So we did have 7 drivers mathematically capable of winning the title coming into this weekend. Now there are just 2, and what a pair of names. Gabriele Tarquini, who's done everything from Formula 1 all the way to the World Touring Car Championship with stop-offs at ITC, BTCC, Italian touring cars, championships in most of them, of course. And Ivan Muller, the man who does sideways and drifting from his Andros Trophy days and has won pretty much every touring car title himself. Victory for JK Venet for the 4th time this year. And that is what it means. A win in Macau is such a big deal. If you win here, you really are one of the greats.
Yeah, it's always one of those special circuits to put on your CV. And he's come close a few times, been on the podium a few times. So, yeah, I'm sure they just want to go home now, don't they? Go down the casino now, maybe.
It doesn't matter what category you win a race in at Macau. It matters. I was talking to Alex Lynn, who won the Formula 3 race a few years ago. And he still occasionally says to somebody he wants to impress, I won at Macau. And they go, oh. It means such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like the Nürburgring. It's like Monaco. You win at Macau, you are somebody.
Can't believe the difference in fortunes between Jean-Carl Vernet and Gordon Shedden, though, can you? It's
bitterly cruel, isn't it? When Shedden has won 3 national titles back in Britain, JK, TCR International Champion from last year, same equipment. Here's Alex.
What a fantastic race that was, kicking us off of our 3 races here in Macau. Jean-Carl, that played right into your hands, exactly what you wanted. Brilliant, brilliant start. Your 4th win of the season, and you have just stepped up onto the podium for the title battle.
Yeah, no, it's a good race. I'm really happy for the sponsors, for Audi, of course. The team had to work a lot last week to prepare the car very well, and it works. I mean, we play with our tools, like I said before. Plan was to take a good start and then ask for a safety car. It happened, and after, yeah, just make no mistakes, do my job like I know, and it's great. I mean, a lot of pressure from Ivan and Rob. They are obviously much quicker in the whole town with a lighter car, but no, really happy. Job is not finished. I'm already focused on tomorrow, so I can't really show how happy I am. But no, it's great for the team, sponsors again, Audi, and yeah, we won.
You won indeed. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, for the first time this year, Rob Huff. Would you have expected anything different?
Yeah, unfortunately, Huffy did it. It didn't get him the win, though, did it?
Vernet, Muller and Huff in the top 3. The BRC's 4th and 5th. Tarquini and Michelis. Guerrieri 6th from Oriola. Scheider in the points for the first time this year. Then Ferrara and Hommela getting a decent finish in both cars. Bjork and Vervish just outside the top 10. Good fights from both of them. Coronel and Erlascher up to 14th. Benani all over the shop, unfortunately. Panis, Comte, Souza, Berton and Billy Lowe. A lot of drivers on the retirement list, though. Nagy, Ma, Shedden, Say, Filippi and Checom. A lot of damage to a few of the cars, but then it's Macau. You kind of come to expect it. But what a showdown we've got tomorrow now. 33 points between Tarquini and Muller. And the fight for 3rd position begins now, because you've got Vernet, Bjork, Oriola, Guerrieri, Michelis and Huff all involved in that fight. It could go either way between those 6.
Yeah, the one positive thing is obviously we got plenty of time to get the cars back. We haven't got 2 races back-to-back like we have tomorrow. So, yeah, they've got plenty of time, drag the cars back, get them all fettled again, and, you know, get everything under control.
A fantastic opening race in the season finale of the FIA World Touring Car Cup by Oscaro here on the streets of Macau. Good start initially by Huff, but Muller was the one who was really making waves on the way through to Reservoir. Flying around the outside of Rob Huff, taking JK Vernet for the ride. The grunt of the Audi really benefiting. Guerrieri caught out and running wide. Benani making friends everywhere he goes. Checon caught out, game over for him. Dupont dropping it into the wall. How the rest of the field missed him without too much damage is a mystery. Filippi taken off into the wall and out of the race after the safety car. Vernet making the move on Muller. That was the race-winning moment. The grunt of the Audi, superior in a straight line. And his teammate, rather sadly, Gordon Shedden, bringing out red flags, blocking the circuit. Game over for Shedden. But for Vernet, it's a victorious day and a great way to kick off the weekend as far as they're concerned. There were 7 title contenders, now there are just 2. Tarquini versus Muller.
By Oscaro. Please welcome onto the podium from Sebastian Loeb Racing. In 3rd position, it's Rob Huff.
The Duke of Cambridge takes his place on the rostrum, but it's not as high a step as he wanted it to be.
In 2nd position from Ivan Muller Racing, it's Ivan Muller.
The namesake of the team and the title contender. The fight begins now. 2 races left of the championship and 33 points to gain.
And now now from Audi Sport Leopard Lukoil team. Please welcome onto the podium your winner, Jean-Carl Vernet.
The Audi Sport Leopard Lukoil team can begin to celebrate. Fourth win of the year for JK. If only luck had gone a bit better for him mid-season, he'd be in this fight.
Team is Elliot Hoppet.
And Elliot will collect the team's trophy. They are elated. This is a big one for the team in the World Touring Car Cup of Macau. And so now the tricolor will go up above the podium for JK. The national anthems, of course, for France and Luxembourg ringing out for the team. Audi Sport Leopard Lukoil. One of Hong Kong's
most famous actors, Mr. Vincent Wong, will present our third position.
What a fantastic opening race, though. Really good race, and that really sets us up for two epic encounters tomorrow. As the Hong Kong sensation Vincent Wong, one of the top stars of the Hong Kong equivalent of Hollywood, will present the trophy to Rob Huff. There we go. It's a nice shiny pot, but it's not a big one, is it? It's not as big as it needs to be for Rob Huff.
Yeah, not what Huffy wanted, but he's got tomorrow to have another crack at it. He's got one reverse grid when it's going to be tough for him. He's got to get through that.
Nancy Wu presents the trophy to Ivan Muller. That's not bad from Ivan. If Tarquini doesn't score tomorrow, 2 podiums will get the job done for Muller by 1 point.
One of Hong Kong's most famous pop singers,
absolutely
Mr.
incredible.
Pak Chow, will present our winning trophy to
But the winning trophy will go to Jean-Carl Vernet, and it'll be the sensation of pop music. Pak Chow will give the trophy to JK. 4th win of the season. If only his luck had been a bit better mid-year, he would be right up there scrapping for the title with Tarquini and Muller.
Well, so many can say that. I think Muller came in here very philosophical.
Maria Helena de Sena Fernandez hands the trophy over to Elliot over at Audi Sport Leopard Lukoil. A victory for the team from Luxembourg once again. Fantastic result. And with 2 races to go, there is no better place to watch motor racing than Macau tomorrow. The FIA World Touring Car Cup will have an amazing showdown. 33 points for Muller to find, and his chief rival is outside the top 10 for the start of both races.
Thank you very much to our guests, drivers.
This is going to be a sensational show tomorrow. Time to celebrate on the podium for JK. For Muller, the work begins. And for Rob Huff, it's not quite what he wanted, but tomorrow's going to be epic. Vernet can celebrate with the pressure off, but there is a 6-way fight for 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, and he is at the top of that table.
Yeah, the podium places in the championship is still definitely game on. But it's anybody's crack at it, isn't it? You know, JK's put himself in a great position. Huffy's brought himself back in the mix. Still got Bjorg, who's salvaging points, trying to get into the points in that race.
This is what it's done for the team's title. Look at that. The gap was 8 points. It's now 15.